Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Lisa here. I won't be looking at you the whole time because I'll have to drive too. I always get epiphanies when I'm driving, and I'm always driving my kids here and there, and so I got this thing that I can record myself and drive at the same time, so that now I'll have more time to share my epiphanies. I also forget my epiphanies too as soon as I get out of the car. So anyway, this week what I've really been working through is social anxiety. So I am launching a coaching business right now. Self-love, self-empowerment. You know, I really want to dig in to all of these things that we push away and out, and, you know, show them love and validate them. And anyway, I'm launching a coaching business, and, you know, the current block or whatever that I'm having is around social anxiety. And the more and more I dig into it in myself and think about it, realizing all the areas of my life where I've held myself back or done things that weren't good for me, drinking is a really big one. Due to social anxiety. So, I really took a dive in this week, and I'm still working through it. I'm no social butterfly yet. But what I've learned is that it's a belonging issue. So when you don't feel like you belong in a place, you experience social anxiety. And you experience that same feeling. I experience it at home as well. It's not social because there's not people that I'm having to socialize with, but it's like a guilt for not being social, which I think is kind of tied into that social anxiety. So, I used to feel like I needed a drink to socialize, to let the edge off or whatever. And the thing that I've found is that I didn't let all of my parts belong, meaning there were emotions that I was just ignoring, and they'll go away, it'll be better soon, or whatever, judging them. Why do I feel like this? So the emotions are part of us, whether we like it or not. And to allow them to belong and really find love for them, it's how can you expect to belong anywhere if you don't even let all of your parts belong? And that was the issue that I'm having, that I've had my whole life. I read a journal prompt from the first grade, and I could see my social anxiety then. Nobody likes me, whatever. And the teacher was like, what are you talking about? Everybody likes you. But it was at that young of an age, I wasn't allowed to express any of the, negative emotions, because my parents couldn't handle anger and sadness and anxiety or anything other than, happiness. But so you have to belong with yourself first. You have to accept yourself in all of its forms. You know, the super anxious one, the angry one, the sad one. And really, you know, by listening to those parts of us and not like, I want to say uninviting, but it's not that. It's like not allowing certain parts of yourself creates this sense of not belonging in your body. And then, you know, you can say, oh, it's because I have to talk to people or whatever. But when you go home, you still feel like you still want the connection, but it's like you can't connect with people because you're not even really you. You're like this other version of yourself that is trying to like keep everything okay with everybody, you know, and that's just impossible. Where social anxiety for me came from is being in social situations where I was, you know, rejected or disrespected, and I hadn't, you know, had the boundaries yet, and I didn't know that, you know, when somebody in the 4th grade said I looked like a poodle, that was a him problem and not a me problem, you know. So like all of these little interactions that we have where people may judge us or even say something kind of nasty, you know, haters and all that, like if we let that in, which is what happens when you're a child because you don't really know how to not let it in, but it makes you not want to be that way. Like you kind of say, oh, you know, I was too loud at this thing, so I'm gonna quiet down. And, you know, I asked too many questions for this person, so I'm gonna, you know, stop asking questions as much. And these things chip and chip and chip away at who you are. Like if you're a person who's inquisitive and curious, yes, you're gonna ask questions. And if you are like loud and like, yeah, you're gonna be that way. And yes, some people aren't going to like it, and they are going to tell you as much, and you get to know that that has nothing to do with you, you know. And so I have been going out more socially than I did, and it's been really good. I've found a lot of really loving and accepting people, but there's still like this major block. Like this past weekend, I wanted to go to 2 different events, and I didn't end up going to either of them. And I was feeling like so guilty and like ashamed of myself because I need to be getting out and like, you know, talking to people about what I do. And, you know, there might be people waiting for me that need it. And I'm just like hiding, you know. But I didn't go to either of these events, and it was like so much pressure I had on myself. So on Sunday, after I missed the second event, I sat down and I really I just sat in it and I allowed it to be there. And, you know, I asked it, what is it that you're trying to tell me? And it was that, and I keep seeing this too online everywhere this week, you know, we get hurt really bad by people who we never ever thought would hurt us. And that's what it is for me. It's like I long for connection, and at the same time, like I kind of want to protect myself from it, because once I love, it's like, you know, But I'm not that person anymore. And that's where I got to, is that, you know, I've been through this with people that I love dearly and never ever thought would hurt me. And I made it through. And I'm better for it now. And I, because of that, can love more responsibly. I don't know if that makes sense, but like my love and who I am isn't because they love me, you know? Whereas before, that's kind of how it was. Like I'm only okay if I have this person in my life. And like, if something were to happen, like, you know, they betray me in a way where, like, it's not cool to be mistreated, you know? It's like you can let them go, too. That's part of love. And loving from afar. And, like, I have all these capabilities now, whereas in the past, I didn't. Like, I was very needy, and I needed somebody to be around to feel safe, to, you know, feel okay. And now I can sit alone, or I can sit in company, and I can feel completely whole and okay for the most part. You know, the emotions they come all the time, and, you know, getting used to letting them be there, feeling them, letting them tell you what it is. What is it at the root of all of this, you know? Because honestly, there's some pretty cool people out there that I haven't met yet. And if I don't work through this, then I never will, you know? And that's kind of a scary thought. But yeah, social anxiety. I think it's a very prevalent issue. I think it's probably the main reason most people drink. I know it was for me the number one reason I drink. And also whenever I stopped drinking, like I couldn't handle it. Especially with people who were drinking. It was like I think another thing too that comes up for me in regards to the social anxiety is that, like, I don't know, I'm a really deep person, and like I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about like gossip. I don't want to hear complaining. And that seems to be what most like socialization is or was. I mean, it's not like that in the new circles I'm hanging in, but like it just feels so fake and surface level and like a waste of my time and energy. But that's like a trap into not allowing yourself to socialize. It's kind of like judgy too. Like I can feel the ick in myself with that. Like, so going in and forgiving myself for all the times that I've gossiped. I've done it. I've been there. I still do. You know, I'm not perfect by any means. But that's another, like, ugh. And then the thing that I'm really stuck on right now is like, so how do I start a conversation about, like, you know, self-love or shadow work or inner child work, inner child healing, astrology? I guess that would probably be a good starting point. Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm a Gemini. What's your sign? See if we're compatible from the get. Oh, anyway. social anxiety is a bitch. And, you know, I'm working through it. But I think it all boils down to, do you allow yourself to be yourself? Do you allow yourself to have the emotions you have? And, like, are you aware of your thoughts? Like, are they, like, you don't belong here thoughts? Or are they, I used to say, I'm like Lisa, everywhere you want to be. Lisa? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, like, do you belong? Are you letting how you can feel like you belong is how you can tap into your audacity. And who you really are. Like, if you don't accept parts of yourself because, you know, maybe somebody else didn't, or you got in trouble for feeling a certain way when you were a kid, punished by society for feeling a certain way when you are angry or sad or depressed or whatever, like, the answer isn't to keep pushing that away. The answer is bringing it all in, accepting it, and giving it love, like it's a little lost child coming to you for support, and you're now grown and can support it. So you can allow all these pieces of yourself to be allowed to sit at the table, like, and once you do that, like, you change how you feel like you belong. And for me, it actually, I used to wake up with dread every day. I thought it was because I was working a lot. Then I quit, and I did, like, all I was doing was, you know, scrolling on the internet looking for anything that might help me feel like not numb and not like a piece of shit, and, you know, I don't even remember where that was going. Anyway, belonging to yourself, allowing all your